IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with the pyramids of Egypt. Did you know that the pyramids were not built by slaves, as it was often believed? Instead, they were built by a proper labor force consisting of tens of thousands of people. And archaeologists have excavated what looks like a full village that was created for these workers to live, filled with bones of animals, showing that the workers were given the best cuts of meat and were very well fed. Nothing like the way slaves would have been treated at the time. They found evidence of people staying in large dormitories, many bread jars and other artifacts to prove that they were not slaves. The movies have for so long showcased the pyramids being built on the back of slaves, their blood spent in making them. However, I believe it was because the historians could not imagine a project at this scale being built by paid labor. They could not fathom thousands and thousands of laborers working together. Imagine the scale of administration that would have gone into making these pyramids, to make each of those laborers work to their maximum and be taken care of just as well. And it seems like a daunting task. In our lives as well, we too have access to this kind of volume of labor, but we do not know how to administer it. And hence, we let it go to waste. We have hundreds of thousands of little workers at our disposal, and we do not realize it. I'm talking about the money that we have. Today's podcast is about changing your perspective and belief system about money. For many of us, money is a way to keep count of all the things that we can buy, all the things that we can use it for. However, what we don't realize is that money we spend is money gone forever. You cannot become rich by spending the money you have. Yes, you can look rich. You cannot become rich. You can have a 2 lakh rupee purse and not afford to have any money to put inside. You can have a fancy car and not have any money for repairs or its service. You will look rich, but you will not have any money. I want you to imagine each rupee in your account as a little worker, as a tiny laborer. This is because it has the ability to work for you, create value for you, and earn more money for you. Now, each time you spend money on things that you don't need, you lose some of your labor force. You lose the ability to make more money. The second reason to see each rupee or dollar as a tiny worker is to change the perception that you need to have a lot of money to begin investing. No, start with whatever you have and watch it grow, grow, grow. If you see each rupee as a worker, you will never keep money lying around at home in piles and piles of coins. You will try and put it in the bank and give your labor force the kind of home and accommodation it deserves. The more you take care of your money, the more the money will take care of you. So start by becoming one of those Egyptian administrators. Start planning and taking care of your labor force. Make each rupee count. Make each rupee work for you. So your simple habit starts by looking at each rupee or dollar or any currency you own as your little labor force, your little worker. This way, you will show money the respect it deserves and spend money only on the things that are worth way more than the worker you just let go of. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show for those who prefer listening to it in that language. Do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network.
On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet talks to wildlife presenter Suyash Kesari. He tells us what it's like hosting a real-life web series for the WWF International. The show, Safari with Suyash. On a show about crypto, Rohan and Vivekanand Ramgopal, who is at TCS Financial Solutions, discuss whether blockchain can help the Internet of Things. On Shunya 1, Sheila Ditya and myself speak to Sanjeev Barnwal about Meesho and how it's made an impact on the Indian e-commerce market. On Cyrus Says, I was not able to join them, but Cyrus was joined by Puneet Pania and Abbas Momin. They had an amazingly fun cock and bull. And on Press Decode, our hosts analyze TikTok's newest plans of venturing into the viral food business. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. We'd also really appreciate any ratings or reviews you can give us on any of the platforms that we're listening on, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or IVM Podcast app. Wherever you're listening, do let us know that you are listening. I'd also like to remind you all that we have a number of YouTube channels where a number of shows are available. You can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube to check out what channels we have. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Cred, Bank of Baroda, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Intel. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Don't you think that if everyone around you is getting smart, you better be smarter? Hey there, I'm the traveling professor Siddharth Deshmukh, and I'm back with season 2 of my podcast to make you smarter. Smarter with Sid. What's this season's focus about? Well, it's about 10-minute nuggets that will make you stand out at work. It's time to go from smart to smarter. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday and become smarter with Sid.